defenders, I think, it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again. Without any wasting any more time, let's see exactly what's happening where Arsenal are concerned with the news, views, topics and talking points. As you can see, David Ornstein on a Monday comes out with his column about all things Premier League, focusing on my football club. Don't forget to have any comments throughout the course of this video and comment them in the comment section. And also after, do me a favor and smash the like button. As you can see in front of me, Ornstein, Arsenal transfer news. Kudus wants to leave Ajax. Glazers 250k flight. Now, obviously, big up United and that. The Glazers are irrelevant to this video and what we want to do. Skipping past the jargon, I don't want to remind you lot that another week, another Arsenal, another Arsenal capitulation. Apparently, Mikel Arteta said, or better yet, a busy transfer window was always anticipated at the Emirates Stadium, as we know in terms of ingoings, incomings and outgoings. However, the need to strengthen Mikel Arteta's squad has been exacerbated, I believe, by the way their title ambitions faded away. Nice way of saying we crumbled. Arteta has publicly admitted Arsenal must absolutely nail their summer recruitment as they look to build on this season's progress and prepare for the return of the Champions League, which, again, next season's a different ballpark. We take the good from this season, we take the hurt and the bad and try and make it better. But we're in the Champions League. Obviously, we need a couple of midfielders, whether it's, being able to dictate the tempo of a game, whether it's the transition, whether it's to cope with physicality. We probably need a more physical number 9. I believe if Tierney leaves, we're in a dangerous territory if we're going to rely on Kirill, Tomiyasu and Zinchenko. All three have question marks, have the ability to play left back and, be groomed into that role and do a job there, but neither are ready for that, people. There's a bunch of players we need. And actually, in terms of squad depth, again, we've really not had our first choice 11 fit for the majority of the season. Now, that's our fault. You should have options, because a degree of getting where you need to is how good are you at your worst? How good are you when all the variables are not fantastic? And as you know, you take a couple of players out of this team, a couple of players lose their form, and we're in trouble. So this is not anything I haven't said. This isn't anything that you don't even know, but we need to absolutely nail this. Bolstering midfield is a priority, and the North London side's main target remains West Ham United captain Declan Rice, who probably said his goodbyes to wherever club he's going. Obviously, West Ham played their last home game, beating Leeds 3-1, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. His contract has a year left. They have the option of extending it by a further 12 months, so confirming his future, in theory, until 2025. They also want to add creativity in a more advanced position, and that has fueled the pursuit of Mason Mount, although there is strong competition from Liverpool and Man United, while Chelsea will make a final push to extend his terms, which are scheduled to expire in 2024. My thing is, I think he just wants to get paid what he deems he's worth at Chelsea. I think if they come to an agreement, they do that. Who knows? His agent could be leveraging Arsenal, Liverpool and United to kind of put the pressure on Chelsea. I also think, what does that make for Smith Rowe? Because obviously, when I look at our midfield, I think we could do with two options. I think we need to be a bit cute and clever. Partey, definitely Xhaka's leaving, and Jorginho and El Nene are not going to be here forever. But this could be bad news for Emil Smith Rowe because, imagine he's grooming into that 8 role. But you know what? If you get Mount, if you get Fabio Vieira, if you train up Smith Rowe on top of bringing in additions, there's some decent options there, really and truly, where Mason Mount's concerned. Listen, I don't think Mason Mount solves all our questions, but I think some fans need to learn from maybe Benjamin White and Ramsdale and just writing a man off. For what it's worth, until players are holding shirts, I don't believe anything. I don't believe we're going to get Mason Mount for what it's worth. But I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's got a lot of bad habits. I think he tries to be the hero a bit too much, but there's a lot to like about him. I think Arteta will get a trick out of him in our team. I think he's Premier League proven. He's got a wealth of experience, having won trophies at Chelsea and playing for England. I think he's got a high technical quality. I don't think he's English as well. I don't think it's one that makes me go, wow, we're serious, but I'm happy Mason Mount personally. Arsenal are determined to sign the England internationals, both 24, and may require an additional player in that department to depart if Xhaka exits, with Bayern Leverkusen in talks to recruit the Smiths midfielder. I just think we need to be a bit harsh. Some players will, we need to have that. The likes of El Nene and Cole, they hang around for a year or so, maybe not in every match day squad, but when there starts to be injuries at the turn of the year and we need to be a bit cute and clever in navigating an intense fixture calendar list, this is where we need it. We have also been linked with Gundogan, who apparently, if you believe reports in the last 24 hours, might actually stay at City. Been linked with a move to Spain as well as Arsenal. It's easy to link Manchester City players to Arsenal for obvious reasons. Reports last week linked Gundogan as his Manchester City deal draws towards midfields are closed and speculation grows over whether he'll prolong his career there or leave as a free agent. Arsenal do hold a concrete interest in Gundogan, and Arteta is driving it, having worked with the 32-year-old German at the Etihad and identified him as an ideal replacement for Xhaka. Now, at 32 years of age, it all depends the wages Gundogan wants and the length of contract that he may seek. It'd be perfect. Obviously, we need a replacement for him before it needs to even happen because he's 32, but he's got to work. There has to be an Arsenal tax. You might not see the Gundogan of City here, but he can play as a false nine, play in midfield, something Arteta might like, a wealth of experience, a bloody good footballer, and is probably a candidate for City's player of the season. Now, it probably is Haaland. I would say Akanji and Ake defenders never quite get their acclaim, but they're up there. Gundogan's had a great year. The problem is, we need to, there's no point wasting Gundogan's time. If you sign him, we need to do what we did not this season and better, really, because if it takes 2-3 years to really get Arsenal to where we want, that's great. If you're Saka, if you're Odegaard, if you're Martinelli, if you're the guys with many years in front, with him, his career is done. Fresh efforts will be made to keep him at City, and Gundogan has other possibilities, including Barcelona and the chance to work under Xavi, having they just won a La Liga. But as things stand, no agreement has been reached, and the situation is still open. Young Ethan Nweri, who scored against Croatia, and obviously big up Miles Lewis-Skelly. He bagged against Holland as we defeated them 4-1 at the under-17s European Championships. If we lose Ethan, it's an L. As we know, we're at where we're at. He's wanted by a whole bunch of clubs. He's still technically a schoolboy. He's in the under-17s. He's made his debut. He's played for the 21s. There's a pathway at this football club. I couldn't begrudge him if he was to go to Chelsea. You're going to earn a lot of money. You're going to be with some quality coaches and in a competitive side. And by the time you're 18, you might look to leave. The same goes for City. We have a better pathway because we've got less players, but it's all up to him, really and truly. His registration finishes next month in June, and the likes of Chelsea, Man City, and Man United are monitoring. Will be due compensation, considering the fact that he's played for England. For England at youth level and been capped by Arsenal against Brentford. Arsenal have not given up hope of convincing him to accept their offer. A new dialogue has recently taken place, although all parties are waiting a decision. So we'll have to see, people. In relation to Kudus, he is set to leave Ajax. Premier League clubs monitoring did very well at the World Cup, people. He has 22 goals in 48 games for club and country this season, and he can play as an 8 as well as out wide. He's a strong dribbler, and he's obviously got resale value. I'm having Kudus, really and truly. He's under contract until 2025. He rejected, better yet, a 1-year extension in April. So this is probably the last summer to sell him for a significant fee. Obviously, they can let next year because he still have a year left, but they're kind of, at the club at his mercy. And obviously we got to remember, becoming a free agent now in football, especially if you're young, could actually be a benefit to you, and they would lose money. Precedent suggests that if a valuable squad member's contract cannot be renewed, Ajax tend to sell rather than allowing them to enter the final 24 months of their deals. It is expected to require a fee of around £40 million, $49.8 million to sign the Ghana international, although that might be influenced by which teams are in for him. Arsenal, Man United, and Newcastle United are among those tracking Kudus, and while other candidates may be above him on the transfer lists at present, the 22-year-old is admired, and he did come close to joining Everton last August. They blocked his move, and it was well served, really and truly. Once again, allegedly, we're in for it with Gundogan. I can't see us signing three midfielders, but you know what? Get Gundogan, Declan Rice, and Mason Mount would be lit. I still think we'd be missing a number 6. Yes, you've got Partey and El Nene who can do that, and Jorginho who plays the 6 role different. I think you need to bring in someone of Caicedo's skill set or something like that. We need a higher caliber number 6. You look at it, we need fullbacks who can defend, in my opinion. I think by all means using Zinchenko and things, but you see what Pep does. You saw the comments he talked about duels. We need more physicality in midfield, and in the middle of the park we need more longevity. If you were to sign the Onanas, the Lavias, the Zubamendis, the Caicedos, the Rices, that brings that. And Gundogan's an exception to the rule because he's obviously a quality player, but he's 32. Xhaka's leaving, but on paper, he's the wrong side of 30. Partey's contracted until 2025, and that's something to monitor closely. He's running down. El Nene, a bit part player, he's running down. Jorginho, evidently, as well. So we do need to find that, really and truly. But yeah, man, for whatever reason, we've been linked with Gundogan. I mean, that was more for my reading in relation to Kieran Tierney. We've spoken on young Ethan. We've spoken on Mason Mount. Yesterday, you did see Arsenal in pole position to sign Caicedo. People allegedly, they've signed Dahoud, James Milner, and actually João Pedro. So Brighton are getting a move along maybe to find indirect replacements or a stronger squad to cope with the anticipated departures, people, of McAllister and Caicedo. Don't forget to offer your opinion, subscribe, and smash the like button, people. Arsenal allegedly lead Chelsea in the race to sign Caicedo this summer. We've seen this before. All of the players we're linked to are wanted by everyone. Get it done. Both London clubs have seen bids rejected. Both have an interest in the 21-year-old Ecuadorian international. He's valued at 70 to 80 million. It all depends on how much they want up front, but 70 to 80 million, if you give them a good fee up front and performance individually and collective based add-ons, I think it's money spent. You know, I think Rice can go up another level, but I don't know if Rice could ever be like a top 10 in his role in his team. I mean, in world football. I'm not criticizing that. Bring Mount. I genuinely believe Caicedo has everything to be a household. I'm not saying the best and all that stuff, but a top 5, top 10, top quality number 6 in his role. And I think we need that. And obviously he can do a job at right back as well, which we need multifunctional players, provided they can do the roles. We find ourselves in pole position allegedly because we're in the Champions League next year. Obviously we've spoken about him before. We tried to bring him in January. He's spoken of his disappointment of Arsenal, of the Arsenal move not breaking down, and actually of us not winning the league. Why didn't you play rubbish against us? I don't know if we sign him. You know, again, all of these players are wanted by everyone. Caicedo would be ranked high up my list, people. Work rate, defensive capabilities, intelligent, 21 years of age, relatively Premier League proven, because he's, it's testament to his quality. He still hasn't got 100 appearances, forgive me if I'm wrong, for Brighton. So we'll see. Laconga could go on loan to Burnley, and I've covered this before, but as I've said, company said he reminds him of Yaya Toure. Go out there and show us Yaya Toure stuff. You're fighting for your career at a top club in Arsenal. You're fighting for your Premier League future. You're fighting to get into the Belgian squad. Laconga seems like he's really on talking. He criticised Belgium for not selecting him. Go to Burnley, pull up some trees, and you'll go to the Euros with them. There's a Euros to consider for half of the players we're linked with as well. The Zubamendis, the Rices, not Caicedo. The Zubamendis, the Mounts, the Lavias even of this world, because surely you want to get a move done early so you can get to grips with your new team and ensure you start the season in the best way. Because obviously for some players are exceptions to the rule. It doesn't matter if they're in good form or not. They're going to go with their countries. For some, that could be the difference between you being a wild card. Look at Martinelli. He was on the peripheral things for Brazil and probably was a wild card. The way he played and pulling up trees, he made himself an assurance on that plane. So, yeah, Laconga's been linked with a move to Burnley. Holding, we're apparently listening to offers, the likes of Holding, Laconga, Tavares, Pepe, Nelson and Maitland-Niles' deals are running down. We need to decide their futures, where the Patanos, the Baloguns, the Tierney's, the Xhakas of this world. I don't think the club actively want them to leave, but for one reason or another, Smith Rowe indirectly as well, they could want to keep it moving. Kovacic has been linked with City, Man United and Liverpool. I can't lie to you. I would get involved on that if I'm completely honest with you. Big up Balogun. As you can see, 20 league goals, 21, I believe, in all comps. Another week, another Balogun goal, man. And obviously he's now an American. He's declared playing for America. I think he's been named in their preliminary, I can never say that word, roster for, I think they got an international tournament coming up. Apparently Milan are expected to make contact with the agents of Arsenal's Balogun. Milan are very interested in Arsenal youngster Balogun, and contacts with his agent are expected to be made soon. Apparently Milan are already planning for transfers this summer. The club has a 50 million euro budget, and apparently money from sales will be added to that. Who are they going to sell? I can't imagine they're going to get rid of Tonali. Can't imagine, they're going to get rid of Mike McGahn in goal. Who are they going to sell? Diaz could be going back to Real Madrid. Sorry, almost said City because he used to play for that. Obviously, Balogun's having a great year. I would love 50 million. Probably have to accept 35. No, obviously clubs away from England are rich, but they don't have the budget that the Premier League happens. So maybe it could make sense to sell him to a Premier League market, really, even though that could cost us. Apparently, his profile is liked and he's had a great season, as you can see over there in France. Arsenal do not consider him to be unsellable and are ready to listen to offers for Balogun, who obviously, again, has chosen to represent the United States of America. For Balogun, it would be a lit move. You Giroud and Ibrahimovic are not going to be there forever. You got a couple of young-ish players at AC Milan. We got to remember, even though it's been a terrible season for them, they did recently win the league. It's a beautiful country and city to play in. It's a massive club. I couldn't begrudge him. You got a couple of English dons in Italy as well, specifically Tomori's over there. So, yeah, and he's shown, that he will go abroad, as you've seen with a number of young players. He will go abroad, so fair enough. Who knows? He might even want to stay in France. I'm sure he's got a lot of admirers. I'm waiting to see him linked with Marseille, if I'm completely honest with you, because they're always linked. Leeds could get relegated. They need to win against Spurs at the weekend. I'm sure we'll be cheering them on, and they need goal difference to go their way. Should they go down, could it be worth looking at Gonyanto, people, in the summer? Now, he's not the physical striker I think we need, but I think he can play out wide. He can be competition for Saka rather than I'm going to take your place. I can't see us forking out for Moussa Diaby. I'd love to be wrong, but I think we're not going to do everything we need to. But evidently, to get better, we need to improve the squad. We need to look at left back and right back. We need a right-sided centre back. We need 2 midfielders, in my opinion, and we need either or both, a winger or a striker, in my opinion, which he could be one of those, if I'm completely honest with you. So, yeah, we have to see that. To kind of wrap up this little vid, though, let's see what Goal.com has said in their transfer column. To reiterate, we're planning a swoop for Gundogan. West Ham are looking to raid Arsenal trio. Again, they've been linked with Emil Smith-Rowe and Balogun as well, people. But they've also been linked with Reece Nelson, who they could get on a free. Balogun, who, you know, could be used as a mate weight, maybe to knock off certain bits and pieces in the Rice deal. And Sambi Laconga. I mean, I think Arsenal are interested in selling and loaning Laconga. Whatever we could do. We're in pole position to sign Caicedo. Brighton are open to selling him. We've been linked with Xavi Simons of PSV Eindhoven. Ramsdale obviously has signed a new deal. We're interested in João Cancelo. Bayern Leverkusen are moving closer to Granit Xhaka, and next month will be crucial in that. Odegaard's drawn interest from Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. Our opening bid will be 90 million for Declan Rice. Allegedly, we're keen on Madrid's Mendy. We've been linked with Sasha Boy of Galatasaray at fullback. João Felix wants to join us in the summer, which I don't believe. We're keen on RB Leipzig's Mohamed Simikan, who can play right back and right-sided centre back and fullback. He's 23 years of age, and he did sign a new deal last summer, so it will take a pretty penny to confirm his signing. Zubimendi's played down rumours of a move away, although links to Barcelona have reappeared. So we'll have to watch a lot of these situations very closely. But for now, as I said, let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Would you take Mason Mount? Do you want Caicedo and Rice? What positions do you think we need to improve? And if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you've done that. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. With it being Monday, let's start the week as we mean to go on, you know, moving that much closer to our personal dreams, hopes, and ambitions. Hope you and your loved ones remain in good health. Let me know your thoughts, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you lot soon.
There's always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like